Let's get back to the manual that Russians read before going to Ukraine. It's the second video about it. Before I read it to you, please smash the like button, just to not forget about it. And now without further ado, let's read it. We'll start with the chapter that's called The Ukrainian Tactics, Hit and Run. When Russian troops are located, it's enough for Ukrainian soldier to just tap on the screen of his tablet in order to send coordinates of the target into a unified network of combat control, after which an unoccupied artillery unit will receive a fire command. Then the artillery that is placed in some kind of a cover, factory workshops, mall basements, etc., goes to already prepared positions to make a hit and go back to cover. To finish the destruction of the enemy, they use mobile sabotage groups that after short fire contact go back to strongholds, hiding behind civilians. The next one in the manual is kind of funny because the Ministry of Defense of Russia basically admitted that some part of their troops die on the front line because of alcohol consumption. The chapter is called Combat Losses and not really combat losses. The nature of fighting in Ukraine is different from what it was in Afghanistan and Chechnya. It's closer to World War II due to the number of heavy weapons on both sides. The stats prove it. Up to 78% of lost soldiers have firing fragmentation wounds, 12% bullet wounds, and 10% mine blast wounds. And now the important part. At war, up to 40% is non-combat losses. The reason is violation of safety measures when handling weapons, friendly fire caused by lack of communication, car accidents, hazing, illness, alcohol, surrogates, poisoning. Americans weren't able to change the non-combat losses stats, but they were able to reduce the number of those losses to 23% by requiring soldiers to wear helmets and body armor in active combat zones. Conclusion number 1. Helmet and body armor double the chance of survival. Conclusion number 2. Discipline and following of safety measures help to not end up in the stats of non-combat losses. Next one in the manual is actually useful. It's called Where We Lose and How to Become a Loss. The success of the enemy is in most cases the result of our failures. The main damage is inflicted by artillery fire targeted at the march, places of concentration of troops during delivery of tasks, at spots where field camps or strongholds are organized, and by sabotage groups. In order to not become a number in statistics of losses, you should follow these simple rules. During the march or on hold, keep the distance between vehicles not less than 20-30 meters. It lowers the chance of massive losses from highly precise weapons by 90%. Every commander who placed vehicles closer than 20 meters to each other is either an idiot or pest. Dig in even in temporary locations of units. If you stop, dig in. Small trenches are good cover from shell fragments and shock waves. Always keep an observation. Wherever you are, whether on the front line or far in the rear, keep an eye on the sky and surroundings. Self-organize. Every vehicle crew has to become an independent tactical group, securing, masking, maintaining the military vehicle and creating positions for meal and rest. The next chapter you'll hear is called Figure Out for 3. Creating autonomous combat groups inside units helps to minimize losses. A combat trio based on friendly relationships is the best way for soldiers' self-organization. It's formed in the unit around collective armament of subunits. Some get machine guns, RPGs, etc., thus creating trio. Such distribution increases the efficiency of heavy weapons and reduces the number of losses. In case one of the soldiers is wounded, 2 others will be able to quickly evacuate him and provide first aid. The organizing of firing positions for 3 soldiers takes twice less time rather than digging trenches individually. Moreover, while 2 soldiers are working with their shovels, the third one can keep an observation, mask the object, cook, clean weapons, etc. At night, 2 observe while 1 sleeps. Finally, we got to the part for commanders. It's called Memo For Commander. Commander, remember, your goal is to control the combat, everyday life and relationships inside your unit. In order to become a good commander, you'll have to kill a militant and Mr. in between yourself. For starters, throw away ammo from your backpack. Leave 2 magazines for AK and 2 grenades F1. It's enough to protect yourself and deprive yourself of temptation to fight with the enemy on your own. What Commander really needs to have is a set of additional batteries for radio station, good binoculars, GPS navigator, laser rangefinder, thermal imager, and charges for all these. The Ministry of Defense doesn't provide such gadgets, thus the Commander buys them on his own. It's time to get used to the fact that the Commander, as well as any kind of professional, has to have his own working instruments. Provide your soldiers with everything they need. Make sure there is a place where to keep things and that the position is equipped. Teach your subordinates to handle all kinds of weapons. By doing so, you won't have to be a mechanic and spotter all by yourself during a fight. Don't let anyone ignore you. The soldier who sent you to hell in reply to fair command has to be disarmed. Let him fight with a shovel till he proves he gets smarter. The chief who failed with delivery of food, ammunition, or fuel has to be handled in any possible way, starting with complaints to superior commanders and reports to the military prosecutor's office, and finishing with non-regulated ways. He's a traitor and enemy. With his inaction, he's killing you and your soldiers. Make solid demands when it comes to clarification of the task, providing communication and artillery support. Every refusal equals ignoring you as a person and as a commander. If you get stood up by your own commanders, then your soldiers will ignore you as well. Don't let yourself down to the level of a loser. Be a leader. That's the only way to organize your unit and to save your soldiers' life. Please mention in the comments what you think about all this, what you found funny or weird in this manual. Also mention in the comments if you want me to continue with reading translations of this manual on my channel, or maybe you get bored. That's fine. Anyways, thank you so much for your attention and support. I'll see you next time, hopefully soon, and goodbye to you all.